I've learned that when it comes to making software, you can't just use one programming language. But I found that it helps a lot to always have access to good Python programmers. When you hire Python developers, you should do everything you can to make sure you get the best. This is true for any service or freelancer. When it comes down to it, web developers are a different breed, and things like years of experience in education may not be the best way to analyze them. Furthermore, if you don't have the technical skills yourself, it can be hard to assess software developers based on their projects and work. For someone like me who has rudimentary understanding and know-how of web applications, the best option was to go for Toptal as our primary source for software engineers. Toptal has helped me hire Android developers, the best Python developers, and other coders for mobile applications at an affordable price. Why Toptal to hire Python developers? While you can go to sites like Stack Overflow to get an idea of what Python projects entail and what you should look for in a Python expert, they won't connect you with top Python developers or dedicated Python developers. That's where Toptal comes in and saves the day. It provides a plethora of front-end and back-end developers who excel in Python application development. You can find the best development team in the US or abroad if you're okay with remote hiring. The best thing is that the people you find on there usually have very diverse skill sets. That means that they may even be able to help with app development, web services, Linux-based programs, HTML5 queries, and overall project management. After you submit a request to Toptal, they will find you the best possible match according to your project needs. If you put in extra parameters like machine learning expert or JavaScript expert, it will be factored into the search as well. In the end, you will get a Python developer that fits your project needs like the last piece of a puzzle. 10 top sites to hire Python developers for web development and beyond. Number 1. Toptal. Toptal is a dedicated matching company designed to match projects with specific developers according to the needs of a project, the timetable, and the budget. Initially, the site was created to only match tech talent, but has now expanded to provide matching services for designers and finance experts as well. However, it still specializes in providing top Python developers to potential clients. Toptal is known for providing clients with Python developers who understand the needs of the project, company, and the client. They usually work alongside the client, but don't tend to be hired full-time. Toptal also has a robust and trademark vetting system, so that only the very best developers end up in their community. According to their site, only 3% of the total applicants pass all of their technical tests and interviews. That is enough to know that there is a good chance you'll find exactly what you're looking for at Toptal. Number 2. DevTeam.Space. DevTeam.Space is the first invite-only community of top development teams and experts and is supported by AI-powered agile processes. It's a relatively closed community where you are bound to find the most experienced, intelligent, and unique development specialists in the industry. You don't find these people on Google, forums, or social media for that matter. Carefully vetted and checked, the developers you find here will be experts in not only their field but other aspects of it as well. For example, you can find a Python developer that will also be an expert in project management and market. Furthermore, the invite-only feature means there is a limited number of developers, enabling you to get a dedicated Python developer. You can also choose between full-time or part-time freelancers, as well as one-time consultations. DevTeam's dashboard and platform are designed to provide easy communication and payment management. You also have superior task management due to tools like performance tracking, notification systems, and more. The site is bound to match you with a developer that understands exactly what you and your company require and in which capacity. Number 3. Hired. Hired is technically a matching company for finding software engineers and specialized developers, but rather than them doing matches, you try and find a match yourself. The platform has a very straightforward pipeline of candidates, enabling you to see which candidate would work best for your project. All you have to do is sign up, set up a complete profile, and then use their unbiased search algorithm to find your custom matches. You can then request interviews with those candidates to make a decision. The site is known for providing the best possible matches in your area, since it plays a huge part in their search algorithm. You can check for remote matches as well. When it comes down to it, you will find a lot of Python developers on Hired who are actively searching for new opportunities. Additionally, since the platform has a policy where all candidates must have at least 2 years of experience in their field, you're bound to find a solid developer with adequate experience. Number 4. We Work Remotely. We Work Remotely is technically a job board that specializes in remote hiring. It's a site for recruiters only looking to hire people remotely for full and part-time positions. The fact that programming is easily one of the most convenient remote jobs, you will find tons of tech-related job postings on the site. A large part of these postings include Python developer jobs. Usually, job posts don't provide details on the project itself, but rather on the company. However, you can find a few one-time contracts on the job board. The bad thing about we work remotely is something that most job boards have in common. It costs a lot to post a job. In this case, one job listing for a Python developer will set you back almost $299, more if you plan on sponsoring or boosting it. However, despite the hefty price tag, there is a good chance that you'll find the ideal remote Python developer on We Work Remotely, since it's a site dedicated to remote workers. Number 5. Python.org. Perhaps the best way for you to look for Python developers is through the official Python job board. Usually, this is the place where your job posting will be exposed to the largest number of Python developers. However, there are no matching services, so, in a way, it's a shot in the dark. You will have to comb through dozens or hundreds of applicants and make educated guesses on which candidate is the best match for your job. The good thing about the Python job board is that you can publish specialized job postings, e.g. Django or Flask-based experts, as well. Other experts of open-source Python web frameworks such as Pyramid, Lambda, Web2Py, and Turbojars can also be found. You can add in additional parameters such as ORM expert or MySQL veteran. Ultimately, you'll find tons of experts no matter how specific you are with your job posting. However, you might need to have a basic understanding of the Python language. That's because you'll put up the job description and choose interested candidates. You'll also be conducting complete technical interviews of the candidates. This might be a good thing though, since you can be more specific with your choice. Number 6. Authentic Jobs. Authentic Jobs is a dedicated job board for programming, web development, design, and creative talent. Over the years, it has been rising in popularity and is now at the point where the New York Times uses it for recruitment. Python development is more than just technical. It can entail creative and design aspects as well. Since Authentic Jobs is a great place to find a mix of talent with several specialties, it outshines other platforms. To get started, you can post multiple job posts on the site with slightly different descriptions. For example, one post can place more emphasis on Python developers with a flair of creativity, while another post can focus on having a better sense of design. This will help you note down potential candidates, especially if a candidate applies for both jobs. That's a good way of narrowing down potential hires. Furthermore, you can post Python developer positions for both remote and in-house positions, opening you to additional candidates. Number 7. Upwork. Upwork is a marketplace for freelancers around the world. It can also provide you with location-specific talent if you're interested in Python developers from a certain location. The site has millions of registered freelancers and continues to grow every year. However, it's a very diverse marketplace, so finding exact matches for your projects and needs might be a difficult task. You can set up jobs for simple coding tasks or even opt for long-term relationships for ongoing Python projects. Either way, you'll have to put in extra effort into finding and interviewing potential freelancer candidates. Furthermore, there is a 3% payment processing fee that Upwork charges for all payments made to freelancers. On the other hand, the platform provides client security that ensures you get exactly what you asked for. If you're comfortable working with freelancers, you can definitely find a good Python freelancer on Upwork. Number 8. Gun.io. Gun.io is one of the few sites dedicated to connecting developers with clients. It has a close-knit community of over 25,000 developers and continues to grow at a steady pace. The site has a comprehensive vetting system that ensures developers are matched with projects they believe in and can commit themselves to. When you're looking to hire Python developers, you will be connected to a VP of the company who will guide you. Furthermore, the site also tends to provide its freelancers with the resources they need. Perhaps the best thing about Gun.io is that they have a unique money-back guarantee where every penny is returned to you if you don't get what you paid for. Number 9. People Per Hour. People Per Hour is also a freelance marketplace, but it's slightly different from typical freelance sites. Instead of client-based job postings, it allows freelancers to set up hourlies where they can market themselves and display their services. This allows potential clients to comb through freelance profiles and check out their work. The client can then send job invites to whichever profiles resonated with them the most. People Per Hour has millions of members with thousands of success stories and confirmed hours of work. It's a great site for clients since it allows them to comb through profiles of potential candidates, rather than combing through tons of proposals. It's easy to post jobs and contact freelancers, and you only have to pay by the hour. That last feature makes it a great place for people looking for Python developers for a limited project or one-time job. People Per Hour also lets you connect with freelancers. This way, you can get a freelancer to come by your office, but keep in mind that their commute times may be added to the hours worked. Number 10. Freelancer.com. Freelancer is one of the most well-known freelancer marketplaces in the industry. It has over 25 million registered freelancers and counting. With over 12 million posted jobs and thousands of finished projects, it's a site where things get done. However, such a huge marketplace means it's also harder to find someone specific, especially if you're going for specialized Python developers. Website development and programming are some of the most popular categories on Freelancer, but despite that, it can be hard to find exactly what and who you need because of the sheer number of users. The worst part is that a lot of users end up applying to jobs they don't fully understand, forcing you to go through potentially thousands of applicants. You will then have to comb through all those profiles, narrow actual candidates down, interview them, and then set up the job and payment system. The good thing about Freelancer is that it'll probably be the most affordable and cost-effective option for you, especially if it's a one-time consultation or a small project you need a freelancer for. You can find several Python developers that will freelance for a fraction of the fee you would have to pay for with a full-time developer. The field of programming can get very technical, and if you're not tech-savvy or have a basic understanding of programming languages, it can be hard to distinguish between good Python developers and mediocre ones. At times, even if you do have an idea about the developer world and big data, it's hard to differentiate between Python developers that will work best with your project and company. Though this is the case when you hire developers of any kind, it's a bit more complicated with Python, considering the sheer number of web frameworks and offshoot languages it has. Not to mention, the readability of the language may differ from project to project. In any case, hiring Python developers will be different depending on your level of expertise. For example, if you have no idea about Python, it's best to go for a hire who does everything for you after you provide them with project and details.